Hey guys, how's it going? It's Etanyos here. Welcome to season number 4 of this NHL 25 Seattle Kraken franchise mode here on my channel. Today we are getting into the 2027 NHL Entry Draft, where we are going to see Landon DuPont, as well as a few other players getting drafted this year. As far as our Seattle Kraken go, we didn't do all that great. The LA Kings yet again land the number 1 pick in 2 seasons in a row, really, getting Keaton Viveros, or they will get Keaton Viveros, while also getting Gavin McCann in the last year's draft. But there are some other decent-looking players in here, guys that we can definitely pursue. But before we get into that, first off, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to show your support down below with a like, comment, and subscription. Of course, if you leave comments, they'll get featured like these ones. So let's get into it, because you guys crushed it in the comment section on this last video for Season 3. So I left you guys with the comment of, hey everyone, as the Kraken head into yet another first round exit in this episode, what should the game plan be heading into the offseason and the next season? 1, continue to build through the draft with young players, successful arrive with our prospects developing properly. Option 2, combine finding some depth pieces with our current players to make this team more of a contender. A balance of veterans and youth will win the cup. And 3, blow it up, trade away all of our older players, find some younger pieces to fit with our young core, and become a juggernaut in future seasons. Respond to this to get featured in the next video. And also, with the Kings winning the last 2 draft lotteries and landing 2 franchise playmakers, what should our approach be to maintain the NHL draft lottery restriction rule where a team can only win 2 lotteries within 5 seasons? Do we either just let them pick if they win again, or do we resim a certain stretch of the calendar? Let me know, because nobody actually responded to that bottom half one, but Leorca said you should continue, as far as we should continue building through the draft. Peaceful said no need to rush anything. Pieces will fit together as you build through the draft, just like in your HLM series. Also, only try and trade older players just before they start falling off a cliff, so you can get at least some good value before it's negative. He said, I would personally like to see Montour retire as a Kraken. I just really like him as a player. Excited for more videos. So great comment there, Peaceful. Braden Cream said, I really like option 1. Best way to build a team is through the draft, in my opinion. And I also like some of the older pieces, such as McCann and Montour. So the final comment here came from the Real Divinity, saying the draft route seems to be treating you good, but also add a little more depth here and there can be good as well down a few episodes. So a little bit of a wordy one there. He also said sticking with the current core and managing the pipeline with young players, but signing a few pieces in free agency can be good too. So it looks like mainly we're going with option 1 here. Which is fine by me. It's just developing through the draft, mainly, rather than going and, overextending ourselves for a couple other pieces. And really, our team's been doing pretty good. So let's go take a look at this draft class, because really at this point, our team, yes, is in need of a couple specific pieces, in my opinion. Like, we are very much in need of a top-line sniper still. Whoever that's going to be, I don't think we're finding one in this draft, if I'm being honest. We might actually have a player that's similar to that already in our pipeline. We'll have to just, pay attention and see what's there. But the first player that I'm really, kind of bought in on is Tucker Kearns, and he's ranked all the way down at 32 currently. So a player that we could absolutely snag a little bit later in the draft. Besides that, we are in need of left defense right now. We did trade away a guy like Ryker Evans, so we don't have him as kind of a higher end prospect. He was top 4, so obviously not elite. But if we go and look at all the elite players in this draft, there really aren't a ton. Like Rodin, Korolyuk, we could probably get our hold of those guys. I'm not so sure about Caden Lee if we necessarily need him, but Rodin looks like a really good goalie. He's a gem, so definitely somebody to pursue there. Besides that, we will get Baumgartner a little bit later on as well. He looks like a solid low elite prospect. Weber, Kerman, Gibbons, Mathers. We should be able to get all of those guys. I'm not so sure about Eugene Stoner, But, we'll try our best to get a bunch of those prospects. And yeah, really, there just isn't necessarily a top player in this draft that I feel the need to trade up for by any means. Like, obviously, yes, a guy like Christian Marks is going to be great. I just don't feel the need to overextend our draft capital and trading ability to go and get a guy like that. So, when I think we can honestly get a almost as good defenseman ranked all the way down at pick 32. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. But I think we are probably going to make a trade as we head into the draft here. We'll probably trade back a little bit further just to, try to regain some future assets. But yeah, let's simulate up to the draft. No need to really look at it any further. And all right, time for retiring players. So this year we're going to see Chris Letang, a lot of defensemen, honestly. Chris Letang, Ryan Sutter, Suter, not Sutter, Suter, because there's one T. Kyle Okposo actually retires in Seattle there. Sam Gagner, Nick Leddy, Lars Eller, TJ Brody, Mark-Edward Vlasic. So yeah, pretty solid retiree class overall. And as far as the goalies go, Calvin Pickard is the best goalie, retiring with 72 wins there. Alex Stalock right behind him. So yeah, some pretty solid retirees this year. As far as coaches go, doesn't look like we're going to see any Seattle coaches call it quits. Same with Coachella Valley. And all right, we are pretty much good to go right up to the draft here. So this will be an interesting draft for sure, but I don't think we're really going to have too many problems moving things around, getting the players and pieces we want. Again, our team is looking decent. We've got a solid core going here, and it's really more just a matter now of putting those final few pieces together, maybe seeing some growth and development from guys like Parker Westgarth. Sorry, I cannot speak today apparently. And then of course, a guy like Joe Iginla or Jagger Firkus, if they can really flourish in a top 6 role, that's going to be huge too. Because again, those guys are draft steals at the end of the day, so if they don't pan out, it's not the end of the world. But when they do, it's awesome when they do. So, maybe a guy like Kolesnik or Denisov is going to become one of those snipers. I don't really see it. Again, the 4-star puck skills versus 2-star shooting is just such a drastic difference that seems unlikely to me. But, I mean, we'll keep an open mind. You never know what's going to happen with some of your prospects and how they develop. So, and as far as the goalies go, I mean, really, Liam Franzen is just looking absolutely fabulous right now. 72 rated at 20 years old. He is the goaltender of the future here in Seattle. And, I mean, obviously we've got Nicholas Koko, who will probably be starting in the NHL this upcoming season. Saarinen's good enough to start in the AHL, in my opinion, even though it says backup. And then, yeah, we could probably play Franzen there next year. So there is a chance that we maybe see somebody like Philip Grubauer hit the door or the trade block or something, but we'll keep an eye on that. So let's get into the NHL Entry Draft and see how things go here today. So just hold on here a second, guys. We're going to go and take a look at kind of where all the picks that we're looking at are kind of lining up and laying out. So Rodin at 121 we should be able to get, but guys like Sergeyev we don't really have a pick for, even though he does look great. 2-year ETA, he's going to be solid. We want most of these low elites here, so Mathers through to Baumgartner, really. If we can get all of those guys, that would be awesome. So let's go make some trades to kind of line those picks up better, because right now we do not have enough later round picks between 135 and 180, or 134 and 180 to make this happen. So let's just let the Kings make their pick first. It will be Keaton Viveros. He's also got a Gretzky comparison, so they might honestly struggle, so we'll keep an eye on them in LA. But let's go. Actually, hold on. I want to check one other thing. Just make sure. Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure. Okay, Kearns is ranked at 34th. So that's a little bit tight for my liking. I guess we'll make a trade, but he's like right at the end of the first round, really. Okay, so the first trade I think we're going to make here, just looking at where their picks have kind of landed, are the St. Louis Blues. We're going to try to get pick 34 and 38 off of them. So this is the trade back And I guess we'll offer these 2 picks. So we're kind of trading into that middle gap in between pick 20 and 49, and that should hopefully land us Kearns and Sergeyev. Sorry, Sergeyev. This is his name, not Butsayev. But yeah, we'll make that trade. It goes through, of course. And then next, I think we're going to go for, honestly, if we could get Carolina's picks here. So I like where they line up with those 3, or I guess 4 picks. We would just try to get pick 27 to trade up a little bit. So we would throw pick 34 in the mix there, and then I would throw these 2 and probably another second in there. 4 picks for 4 picks, kind of back and forth straight across. Let's sub out this one for a year later. See if that'll go. Okay, so Marks goes second to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Okay, so let's go back to that. Oh, there we go. Did it save? Sweet. Okay, so it did. That's a new feature that I do like in this game, is that if you're in the middle of a trade when a pick goes through, if you go back to trade offer, you can just go right back to the current trade that you were making. So let's try this trade, see if it goes through, and it does. Okay, perfect. So that means we've got pick 27 now to select Tucker Kearns with. That should work out quite nicely. Let's see if we can grab these 2 5th rounders off of Colorado, pick 129 and 156. I think if we grab those 2, we're going to be set. And honestly, I don't think it's going to cost us a lot. That's 2 5ths for, honestly, if we can do like a 4th and then like a 6th rounder like way later, that would be great. Does it go? Yes, it does. Okay, perfect. All right, we're all lined up now with our picks, I think. Let me double check. Quite a few WHL players in there, some really good ones, honestly, for the top 5 at least. Let's see how a little bit further on here rounds out. I mean, Jaffray we knew was going to be okay. Ooh, Tarnqvist is a steal for Columbus at 7. And then Street at pick number 8. That's a great player as well. Honestly, we probably could have traded for him just to, kind of upgrade on our current defense. Just, because Kiloma's a little bit lower rated and 2 years younger. They're 2 years older instead. But, I mean, I do like where we were able to snag him, obviously. Pick, 8 versus 12. It's not really going to make much of a difference in the long run. It's really just more the player size there that's desirable, because Street is 6'4". So, yeah, it's okay. But we'll simulate over to pick 27 now, and we'll see who else kind of gets picked throughout here. Sanderson was pretty good. Michael Sanderson. Crack my neck quickly there, but Jackson Jacobson's always a good pick. Sawatsky was good, solid 2-way forward for Minnesota there. And then that was kind of it. Like, the last other good pick was Edwin McCann, 9th overall there. So at pick 27, we are going to go off the board because, again, there's just really not a lot of first-round talent here for the most part until, of course, we get down to Tucker Kearns. And he is absolutely going to be our selection. 76 overall, okay, pretty solid. Where's number 89? So an interesting number choice there for a D-man, but I mean, hey, we'll take it. And yeah, honestly, for a 27th overall pick, that is solid. So after that, Leclerc was good. That was pretty much it. Zane Lyon, not a bad pick either. Let's see who else went in the end of the first round here. And yeah, we did not miss on much. We made the right pick with Kearns there for sure. So next up, we're going to skip over those top 6 forwards. We're going to go with Gustavs Sergeyev. Just another solid winger to add to our system. And again, building out that depth. He's a playmaker, actually. I thought for sure he was going to be a 2-way forward. But, I mean, hey, we'll take a right-wing, left-wing playmaker. That is a solid pick there, especially for pick 38. So we'll go over to pick 52. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, at pick 52, we can at least draft Caden Lee as a good trade piece in the future, because really, like I said already, Liam Franzen has got the future net here in Seattle, so unless somehow Caden Lee just turns out to be crazy, then I don't really feel the need to, push his development necessarily. So, after that pick, Sokolov was pretty good as well. Anybody else in between here and there, because again, there was, I'm pretty sure, an entire round of picks that we just did not make a selection in, and yeah, that is the case. Voloshenko was pretty solid, but yeah, no, we'll take Caden Lee all day over him. That is, again, Caden Lee is just a much higher valued prospect because he has that elite potential. And after that, again, not a lot else going on. We're kind of lining ourselves up, or we've lined ourselves up perfectly for this draft. Okay, so we will make our next selection here at pick, what pick are we at? 101. So at pick 101, we're definitely going off the board, and we are going to select Rodin. Again, another goalie. You guys are probably looking at me like, why is he drafting so many elite goalies? Because these are going to be trade pieces in the future. We're going to be able to put together a blockbuster trade or two with these guys because their value is just kind of broken. So that is absolutely what we're doing right now. But, yeah, we'll go over to pick 123. And does anybody get picked in between? Nobody. All right. So, yeah. Per Rodin, keep an eye on him because 60 overall is actually a pretty solid overall for a 19-year-old. And besides that, we'll go on to Jace Baumgartner. And the Polish prospect out of the SHL is looking like a gem. And he's going to be 55 overall at just 18 years old still. Only played one season in the SHL, so give him time. He could really turn into something too if things go well with his development. And yeah, that's a good fourth round for us. Two more elite prospects just a little bit further back. And at this point, now we are just looking for all of these later end guys that still have good potential. They're going to be lower overall for the most part, but I mean, hey, if we can get Weber, Kerman, and then, I mean, we're probably not going to take Krolyuk because he's 20 already, but then again, I guess Yarrow Weber is 20 as well, just has slightly better ETA, so we'll take him as a right D. Defensive defenseman, 59 overall, honestly, not bad for a 5th round pick. There's a chance that he makes it. I really like his size, 6'4", 214 is a great build. And then over to pick number 148, where we should be able to definitely get Kerman at that point. That's pretty much a whole round in between. And yeah, we will definitely take Markku Kerman. Not that we need any more left wingers. We're definitely set on the left wing. You look at the bottom of the screen here, just kind of by my face cam. Honestly, we're fully loaded for the most part. Right wing is probably the only spot that we need anything at. And even then, we probably don't even really need any more right wingers as far as our system goes. So we'll simulate over a few more picks here, just to pick number one. What are we at? 155 now from 148. So yeah, 7 pick difference. And with that 7 pick difference, we will go out and get a right winger, Ken Gibbons. He looks really good, another gem potential player, which again, gems have a tendency to grow. So number 10, he'll have to find a new number, maybe, I don't know, 55, number 11, something like that. I don't know. There's a bunch of numbers we could give him instead. And then for our final pick of the draft, we're going to go with another defenseman, but again, a defenseman that's 18, has lots of time to grow and develop in Henry Mathers, and he is 52 overall. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the draft here. We don't have any more picks after that. So we will just go on a little bit further. We're going to sim round by round for the most part, just to kind of go in and see who our other picks are that we traded away, because I have a list of them, and then I just like to fill them out to track and see who gets drafted where kind of thing. So we'll sim up to round 7. And then let's go all the way back to that pick number 20 that we traded to St. Louis. See how that thing kind of panned out. Looks like it went right about here. And that was Brad Schroeder. Okay, not a bad pick for them. And then the other pick they had was pick number 49, so that would have been in the 2nd round just after Butsev. It would have been, yeah, Steve Bennett. Okay, not a great pick, but also not a horrible pick. As far as pick number 34 goes, which was the 2nd pick of this round going to Carolina, they took Caedmon Barreau, which again, nothing super special there, if I'm being completely honest. And then Carolina's next pick was in the 6th round at pick number 180. Utah managed to get Kolyuk, and he was actually 58 rated, so that's a pretty solid pick for them. Ooh, and we did not have this guy scouted. Emmanuel Hamilton, that's a great pick by the Tampa Bay Lightning. And then look at this guy too, Jeffrey Donovan. Okay, a couple good 6th rounders. That's impressive. Okay, so Russell Lutzer was the player that the Hurricanes picked with pick number 180. Honestly, not a good pick, if I'm being honest. And yeah, there were some other good players in here, though. I'm kind of surprised with how some of these later picks have turned out. So we're going over to pick number 212, I believe. So we got a few picks to sim ahead here, because if we hit sim entire draft, then we can't see who got picked. But yeah, that is it for this draft for the most part. We'll get onto the offseason here in just a moment. So for the Hurricanes' 212th pick, because this was the pick that we traded away to them, they will take Trevor Gamble, which was an absolute gamble that did not pay off. So yeah, I mean, looking at our draft overall, considering we did not pick until pick 27, it would have been pick 20, but we traded back to 27. Considering that we picked at 27 onward, I think we got a really solid class there out of this draft. I'm super happy with the players we got. And yeah, for the rest of the draft, not really too concerned about it. It was a solid drafting performance yet again by the Seattle Kraken, and that's what happens when you have A-rated scouts. So yeah, solid draft. I think we're going to be really set up for the future for the most part. Again, just missing that elite left shot defenseman really at this point, and once we get that in, I'm not worried. So guys, at this point, we have contract offers out for guys such as Shane Wright, Jagger, Firkus, Nicholas Coco, and Yanni Nyman. All 8-year deals, so advancing a day should get those contracts done. And yeah, we'll see. I think we definitely want to re-sign Amari Chung. Things have been going pretty good with him so far. We've been a cusp playoff team. He's been good as far as how well our team has kind of progressed and gotten better over the years. So he's definitely a coach we're going to bring back. Besides that, I don't know if we need an associate forward coach necessarily. We could probably look for a defensive coach. That would probably see some better progression for our overall team here. So yeah, maybe something to look into. So I don't think we're going to bring our associate coach back unless, he's just absolutely... Yeah, no, Chung's our guy. We've got a winning record with him, barely, but we have got a... Actually, do we have a winning record with him? I don't know if we do. That's close. I think we are like 2 wins off of 500 even there with him, so it's kind of interesting to see that, but we'll definitely go and re-sign a whole bunch of these scouts because we want to bring all of these scouts back. They are good enough to be brought back. Guys like Lindstrom and Davidson, definitely want to get those guys back in. I guess we'll sign Petterstrom and Wolf for now, but we are going to be looking at new European scouts here, so keep an eye on those as we head into free agency here. But yeah, okay, let's... All right, Shane Wright accepts the deal. Sweet. So we've got trade protection on him and everything like that. Jagger Firkus is going to accept... says offering me this type of cash makes it easy. Yanni Nyman does not take... Oh, he... I want to be on a team that's vying for a Stanley Cup often. Dang, Nyman. Okay, that's kind of rude. And then, okay, Coco also rejected. So, reason being is because we offered them such low contract deals. Like, Coco was under $2.5 million for 8 seasons, and Nyman was under $2 million for 8 seasons. So we will go and re-sign those guys, but yeah, gonna take a little bit more effort than that, or a little bit more money than that. And then of course we do need to re-sign Dunn and McCann because those guys are both sitting at 90 overalls right now. Can't really turn those guys down and let them walk to free agency. That would just be a huge loss. And okay, you know what? Honestly, not bad. I don't really feel the need to give McCann a clause at this point. Obviously, it'd be nice to see him retire as a Kraken because he is honestly a very good player. Can't really complain about anything he's done in Seattle up to this point. So yeah, that is definitely a guy that we will continue to look to bring back. How much money? We got $26 million in cap space, so honestly, 4 years at 8.5, I think is reasonable for McCann, especially at that overall. We will be looking to trade him a little bit further on here. We're just going to go no clause because, again, he doesn't need a clause. We are going to move him probably at some point, and he should be getting back to us on that. Vince Dunn's the one that's going to be expensive, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's the problem with defensemen like this is that they want a lot of money. Honestly, though, like, let's look at his stats. He has not been overly fabulous. He's been good. 46 points was a big step up for him versus previous seasons, but his career high is 64, so it's not like he's just been, like, he didn't have a career year this year. I don't know why he wants over $10 million. It's a little tough, so. If we go no clause, that immediately hurts our chances. If we go less years, because again, defensemen start to regress by 34, 35, somewhere in there, so I don't know if he's going to sign a $10.5 million deal for 4 seasons here if we give him this price, but he wants 7 years. Like, he wants to stay a member of the Kraken, which is good. The term, like the money, is just too much for what we'd be expecting. Of course, if you go less years, you think he'd expect more, but he's not really. Okay, so he immediately, unless you completely overpay him, he has minimal interest in different types of contracts. I think he's going to reject this, honestly, but we'll try it. Because those are our 2 top dogs there for free agency. Besides that, you know, Yanni Gourde looks really good. I think we could offer him a $1.8 million deal and he would accept it for 1 year. Obviously, it's 1 year, but probably similar thing with Burakovsky too. Actually, I don't know if we have the money to do that because we still need to get these other young guys signed here. There's a few of them, honestly. So with Nyman, yeah, you know what? I'm fine with doing a 2-year bridge deal for him. That'll take him to 24, and then we could sign him long term. So let's do 2-year at 1.3 million. That should be enough. As far as Atu Ratu goes, 2-year, 1 million. Sign that. Leeson's been really good too. That's another guy that I have no problem offering a contract to. We have to sign Porter Martone this year. He will probably be getting AHL time, which is fine by me. We'll sign Max Lajoie. We'll of course sign Porter Martone because, again, there's just no reason to not be signing your top prospects. And then Grant Reed needs a contract, so we're going to be pushing the contract limit here for sure. So we will have to kind of pick and choose between some other players, but I mean, Kearns is already as good as Nelson, Dragicevic, and he's 5 years or 6 years younger, so that is definitely a bonus. We will be signing Upshaw. Honestly, I think a lot of our prospects are going to be getting signed this year, so Noonan as well. Yeah, there's just a lot of guys that we probably should bring in. I feel fine signing Cole Temple, too. I know he might not get a lot of ice time to start, but we got to just try to make him grow somehow, so... Yeah, what we'll do is, honestly, Kaleshnik, Beach, those guys are good enough to bring into the AHL as well. I think we're going to do that because, again, they saw pretty rapid progression, not regression, thank God, over the last season or so. So really, the guys that are going to be gone are more like our Brandon Bureaus, our Ben Myers, probably like a Samuel Johansson. Yeah, those are going to be more so the players that we are letting walk. I don't really want to let Eberle go because, again, he's been the captain here. He didn't play this year, though. That was the thing, is we just didn't have room for him. Yeah, it's been a little bit tricky dealing with that. Okay, so Grubauer is just going to walk more than likely. Especially at 35. I just don't really feel the need to re-sign him when he had an 898 over 23 games and only won 5 of those 23. So yeah, we will... I'm releasing Philip Grubauer. I know some players aren't going to like that, but we need to. Honestly, and Nicholas Coco, if he can grow into our starter, sure. You know what? 2 years, $800K. I don't even care. That's a fine contract for me. Okay, so I think that's pretty well it for our contracts, at least for the moment. What we're going to do is we're going to go back kind of position by position now and just see where we can, weed out a couple contracts here and there, which players make sense to release, which players make sense to keep, things like that. Obviously, we're going to be keeping a guy like Ty Nelson. He is part of our long-term plans here in Seattle, so we will hold on to him. Besides that, as much as I would like to sign Leach, I don't think we necessarily need to yet. So we could give him, he had a lot of really good progression this year, and he is 20 now. And yeah, like Lebedev and Lizen, we're probably not signing. Those guys were late end guys. So yeah, we'll release Lizen, we'll release Lebedev. Again, I just don't feel the need to sign those guys. Kearns, I think we're going to let him sit for one more season, see if he can really just crush some numbers down in the USHL. If he can, great. If he can't, then that's going to hurt because obviously we would love to see him develop. But yeah, next thing's next, Brian Leach will get a contract. The new Brian Leach, not the original Brian Leach. We'll wait on Samuel Johansson for now, or Johannesson, however you say his name. As far as right wingers go, honestly, it's a little crowded here. That's the way I would describe this. Is it's a little crowded here. You offer him a 2-way contract, he does not want it. Let's go Ebbs 1 year at 1 point. Yeah, let's go. Actually, I don't know if we're going to have the money for that. So let's just hold on a second there for signing a guy like Jordan Eberle. What we are going to do is we're going to sign Ivan Denisov because he looks very good. I think he's ready for... Well, is he ready? I think he's ready. Yeah, 26 points last year in Russia. Yeah, he's pretty much ready. Actually, no, you know what? We're gonna let him sit for one more season. He's one of the few guys that we are going to wait on. So that was right wingers, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that was right wingers. So we will bring back Melanson just for 1 season. And then Robertson, honestly, Tucker Robertson, I don't really feel the need to bring back. He just isn't really good enough for the AHL even. Like, we have better players coming in up our system. So we'll wait on Eberle just for now, but we will probably sign him. Burakovsky we're also waiting on, even though it would make sense to sign him. We've offered out 9 contracts, and I think this is where guys like Bureau, even though Bureau was really good, he led our Coachella Valley team 1 year. And same with Myers, too, for being a good depth piece. This is where I think we just need to release these guys because, again, we're going to have other younger guys coming up the system that just simply make sense to sign. Guys like Nolan Upshaw, who's only 4 ratings lower at like 8 or 9 years younger. He's going to be a much better player than either of those guys that we just released will ever be. We will sign Noonan. We will sign Cole Temple too, so that's another kind of newer one. And then we're just waiting on a lot of contracts to kind of get back to us here for now. As far as the centers go, Goyette, we will sign 2 years at $1 million a year. That's fine. Morrison gonna be right around that same price point, just a little bit less maybe. That should be good. All right, and now we are just waiting for all of our other contracts to come back. We are waiting on Burakovsky and Eberle just for now. I do want to sign those guys. I just don't know if we're gonna have the cap space for it. So let's advance a day or two here and see if everybody else signs. We get Amari Chung back. That is very much important to our team's success here in the future. Isaiah Bryan signs, and we do get the goalie coach back too. I mean, yeah, it's kind of the only role you're going to get. We should get all of our scouts back here. And, okay, Yanni Gourde did not want to sign for the dollar amount. We get Jared McCann for $8.8 million. That is a great cost for the next 4 years. I think that's really solid. Okay. Because the trade protection I'd be getting does not meet my needs. Okay, so we could probably get Vince Dunn 4 years, $10 million with trade protection. That would be solid. Melanson did not sign. That's fine. All right, we get Nelson, Goyette, Nyman, Leach, Franzen. Okay, so who else is expiring here? This is our group of still expiring players, which, you know, really not a big group, but there are some pretty key names in there. So we're going to do a... Why don't we do a modified? Modified no trade clause. Four years, 10.5, trade protection. That'll work for me, honestly. And we have $8 million to split up between these three players, which I don't think is enough, but I don't know if we necessarily need a guy like Burakovsky. I mean, Burakovsky's very fast. He's a good skater. Can Gourde please sign for $2 million for 1 year? That would be great. Ebbs is going to be 1.6. Actually, we should have enough money to get them all done. It just means that we're not going to have a lot of additional cap flexibility, which is fine. I'm pretty happy with where our team's at heading into this next season anyways. 4.5 for Burakovsky would be great. I'd love that price point. And then we might as well go with Johannesson. And he signs it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so advance one more day. And please, 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 everybody sign. Multiple morale changes for signings. Okay, Yanni Gourde does resign. Eberle resigns. Gourde resigns. Dunn still doesn't resign. And, okay, Burakovsky does. So we've got $13 million to play around with here. Vince Dunn's just so expensive. That's the thing. I mean, I can give him a full no movement for like 3-4 years. That's fine by me. Even 5 years would probably be fine. Honestly, 5 years, $10 million with the full no movement clause. Yeah, I think we'll be okay with that. It is pricey, but that's the price you pay for a guy like Vince Dunn. So, we'll advance again. He should sign that. Oh, come on! Just pulling every excuse in the book here at this point. $5 years, 10.5, 10.75 even. I don't want to sign him for 7 years. He's going to be a cap whale. Come on, Dunn, sign the frickin' contract already. This is becoming quite annoying. And he hits us with another excuse. Honestly, at this point, I'm so done with Vince Dunn. Like, that's what I named last episode, just kind of as a play on words, but now he's actually causing this. So he's going to be the biggest free agent, without a doubt. And the only defenseman. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. No, we're not reconsidering the terms. You're just... This is just pointless. He's just going around in a circle here. Okay, so with Vince Dunn going around in a circle here with the contract negotiation, what we're going to do is we're going to do no protection 1 year or one way. That should be enough, honestly. $10.5 million for the next 6 years. We will end up trading him before then, more than likely. And you're not getting protection if you want that type of money. Let's try this. This is like the best offer I'm going to give him at this point. Last go. Come on, Dunn. Sign a contract, man. Jeez. And he's not going to sign it. All right, continue. Yeah. And we don't get him. So Vince Dunn just absolutely botched that. That was... I'm sorry. Like, you got to work with a team here that just made the playoffs 3 years, 2 out of the last 3 years. Come on, man. Come on. I'm really not impressed with Vince Dunn here. Okay, 11/6 for Dunn. This is my final offer. I'm caving here. I shouldn't be doing this, but we're going to cave. And he will go sign with another team. There's pretty much no doubt about that in my head at this point, which really stinks because if he does, that's pretty much just going to handicap us on everything else we can go and offer. I'm just really not happy with how that whole conversation and everything went with Dunn. Like, I thought for sure he was going to be signing here. Yet he wants to win. This team's probably going to win within the next 3 to 5 seasons. Like, there's a good chance of that. Okay, so we just went through about 1,000 coach conversations with players that need to see improvements over the season, but we're going to advance a couple days here and hope and pray that we get Vince Dunn. 3rd and a 7th for Larsson. That's a horrible deal for us, even though we'd probably make the picks count, but still not going to do that. And come on, Vince Dunn, please sign with us. And he goes back to St. Louis. Oh, that's brutal. Oh, that is just so brutal for us. Okay. Well, any free agents left? Not really. None that we want to sign, at least. I mean, I guess we could go get like Brett Burns or... Oh, that just stings, man. We should have been getting Vince Dunn there. That was my mistake. I apologize, guys. We just lost a pretty solid player. Who's going to fill his spot? That is now what I am wondering, because I thought for sure Vince Dunn was here for the long haul, but I guess not. So that next guy up, I guess, is Jamie Alexiak. Yeah, we need to go get another lefty, that's for sure. Because, if we go here, go to our actual defensive core. And look, we got... I guess we'll go by overall rating here. So we got left, right, left, right. No, you know what? Our team's okay. It would just be nice to get another, 82+ rated right or left shot D-man. So we'll go do that. That'll be one of our few free agent signings. Because, if we go look at the rest of the team, as far as, again, we're looking at overall ratings here to see who's going to play where. But, centers, we got quite a few. So how about we just go by forwards? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's our top 9 is all 85+ rated. And then 10, 11, 12. And then Ratu's the 13th forward. That's crazy. So, our forward core is good. Don't have to worry about that. Our forward core is going to be fine. It's really more so the matter of, is the back end going to be okay now that we are missing a guy like Vince Dunn? So, man, that just That just stung. I can't believe he did that to us. I mean, I can. We didn't have the best negotiations with him. 3x3 for a top 4 D-man that could turn out for us? Yeah, we'll go for that. He is only 81 overall, but still. Probably worth it, in my opinion. I guess we could have gone for, like, Poirier or... I mean, yeah, we could still go for Jeremy Poirier. 2x2. Again, we have a ton of money just sitting here now, so it kind of makes sense to do that. As far as our tendies go, we don't really need to do much there. What would a potential trade for Matthew Savoy look like? Westgarth, Gourde, Mahura, not great. Cat and Mahura, definitely not great. Marteau and Borgen, no. And honestly, I don't really like that trade either. So I don't really like any of these trades. That's probably the best one. Is it worth it? Like, I kind of want to see if Westgarth actually turns out. Because I think there is a chance, at least with his size, that Westgarth could be a better player than Savoy at some point. Obviously, he's not there yet, but he's 6'1" versus 5'9", 5'10". I mean, that's also pretty rich considering Savoy's already 87 rated at 23 years old. That's tough. That's tough. I would love to trade for him. I don't think it benefits the team long term, though. Well, long term and short. Like, short term, it would probably benefit the team, even though we're losing a solid lefty man in Josh Mahura. Yeah, no, it's just because Mahura's in that trade deal that I'm not gonna do it. If it was Gourde and Westgarth, done. Like, that would be a done deal. But I just can't make that trade. So, all right, let's go to the next season where we'll probably see these two signings go through here. Poirier definitely signs. So we still gotta wait, see if Buffalo matches. They probably will. I mean, they might not, but they probably will. And oh, okay. So Buffalo has chosen not to match. We will get Tobias Villain. So heading into the next season, guys, we're looking at 82% of our total season tickets sold. Not bad, but also not amazing either. And let's see the owner goals. We're going to be looking at get close to the player salary budget, earn 88% of expected profit. Yeah, okay, we're a seller for sure. Yeah, okay, no, that is going to be our forward lines for the AHL for this year. It's pretty solid, but I've got nothing against it. We managed to get all of our top defensive players in the AHL top 6, which is pretty solid. Only guys that, well, we're going to move up Atu Ratu, Caden Price, and preferably Villiotavainen. And with those 3, now when we go and look at the NHL, obviously the NHL roster is stacked to the point where I don't know what's going to happen with this team because we've got, no movement clause for one more year on Chandler Stephenson. Then we can trade him afterwards, which is probably going to be the play. Besides that, I'm not moving Bjorkstrand because he's only 32. But we do need to start clearing some spaces for other better younger players that are coming up. Like Martone probably should be on the second line at 84 overall. He's a third line scorer. He should have a third line role for sure. So maybe we go like that. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. A 2-year deal on Eeli Tolvanen is not bad either. It's just more the matter of there's so many other better fitting players, at least, in and on this team. Like, Ratu's playing 4th line center, no doubt about it. Gourde will slide over to the wing because that's the only spots we have available. And then on defense, like, what I think is going to happen is we're going to trade Tolvanen and Burakovsky for some probably better defense out of anything. And then once those go through, then we can... Like, again, I want a top pairing defenseman to put with Montour. That's kind of the biggest thing right now. Is that if we went like that, we still get the +1. So it's really just a matter of, can we acquire the pieces or make the moves that will actually get a deal done here? Because Fajimo, good enough sub player, that works fine. And actually, do we even need to acquire a better D-man? I don't know if we do. The only way I would be doing this is if we move... Because we have no offensive defenseman currently. Like, Montour is even listed as a 2-way D. He should be an offensive D, but he's listed as a 2-way. We want Tolvanen and Price coming up too. So there's a lot of moves that have to happen here pretty quickly. So let's get to it. Actually, before we even do that, let's decide on who our captain is here. Because at the current moment, we do not have one. No, we do. Okay, it's Yanni Gourde. How did Catton get an A over like Beniers or Wright or McCann or all these other players that are much longer what? No, you know what? We're going captain on McCann. That makes sense to me. An alternate on Gourde for now. Alternate on Larsson. That works for me. That alternate from Larsson's probably going to Montour within the next season or two, just because Montour's so good. Firkus cannot wear 9 because of Stephenson still, so we'll make that change once Stephenson gets traded next season probably. But we have got some pretty serious moves to make here to start off the season. Okay, you know what? We got the money and I think the players to make it work. Can we go out and get Zach Werenski off of the Columbus Blue Jackets? Oh, he's got 1-year deal left, so yeah, more than likely. Are we on his no-trade list? No! We're on his no-trade list, aren't we? Werenski, you're horrible. I hope you know that. You could really be doing something great there in Seattle, but nope, you're gonna stay in Columbus because you suck. It's a pretty big package, if I'm being honest, but we got $8 million to work with, so it would be Josh Mahura, Adam Larsson, Eeli, Tolvanen. I don't know why I thought I was saying that wrong. Honestly, might be big enough to go through. Let's try it, because if this trade does go through, then holy moly, then I think we have our top lefty of the future, because he's 25, so he's kind of up there, but not like really, really up there. Jake Sanderson. Oh gosh, off we go. Tolvanen, and Adam Larsson. So, any chance this goes through? Oh, it does go through. Oh, it does go through. Okay. That's big. That's actually huge. Because we're giving... Are we giving them cap relief? Not really. I thought we were, but I guess we're just giving them better value. Any chance we can tack on a second-round pick just to kind of replenish. I don't know if this one will go through. Oh, it will. Okay. Because... yeah, that's a great deal if that's the case. Our team's stacked already. We kind of don't need... like, we do not need depth forwards. We need some better defense. So, yeah, let's do this. That's going to be a huge move. That's a huge move. Simple as that. Boom. Blockbuster. Done. That's crazy. So, what we're going to do is we're going to move Ratu, Tolvanen, and Price up. And that should perfectly be enough. Boom. Okay. Let's go take a look at these NHL lines now. After all that, Sanderson doesn't even fit perfectly. Ah! Come on, man. How does he not fit perfectly? Okay, so Caden Price will be our 7th D-man for this year. Having Jake Sanderson in the lineup, though, makes this defense look a lot more serviceable. Our goaltending's probably a little bit on the questionable side still. And honestly, I think we could probably get a pretty good Burakovsky trade here still. So I'm going to go explore that and see what we can do. But as far as our lineup looks, this team's going to be sweet. This team is going to be absolutely sweet. So we do have to go and just mess around a little bit here with the captains and jersey numbers. We are missing an alternate, but that is going to Brennan Montour. And I think that is the right call. But yeah, we do get Ville Tolvanen and Caden Price up into the team. I'm thinking we should probably give Tolvanen number 3. Actually, who's wearing 3? Borgen. Borgen's wearing 3. We'll give him 4 for now, but Tolvanen will probably end up wearing 3 at some point. Nicholas Coco should be wearing number 30. I don't know why he's not. Maybe he's listed as 33 in the game or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But I think this team is pretty much ready to go now at this point. Besides, of course, we are going to make a Burakovsky trade. Reason being, 1, clear up some cap space. 2, bring in some other depth kind of assets and maybe some picks. And then I think we're good to go. Okay, I think this is the trade we're going to try to push through here. It's a little bit of a stretch, but if the Stars want to make this trade, which would see Burakovsky go to Dallas in exchange for Dallas's 2nd this year, Taylor Hall, okay, so this is a bit of a stretch trade, but we're going to try to send Burakovsky to Dallas for a 2nd, Taylor Hall, and Nicholas Aube-Kubel. So just to add some depth to our system. Trade is rejected. So let's take... Okay, so that didn't quite go. Could we go Hemming in a 2nd? Because that would be okay. Boom, okay. I'm okay with that. It's a much better deal than Hall and Aube-Kubel. So a lot of players did not like us trading away. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Okay. One other thing I want to try is just with our coaching staff. It's not a permanent move or anything, but I just want to see if this actually works or not. And what that is... Yeah, okay, so we did see a couple players kind of drop rating because of the morale difference there. But, you know, it's a +3 if we go Martone, Wright, and Catton. That's pretty solid. We could honestly almost make the argument that Catton could be a sniper, but I don't think he's quite there. He needs to score a lot of goals to do that. I mean, he scored 21 goals last year, so that's pretty solid. But, yeah, we're going to keep it as is right now for our lineup. This is honestly... probably the best Seattle lineup we have seen since the start of this franchise mode, so I'm not really going to mess around with it too much. There's literally 1 player to scout in the Ice League. Oh, that is hilariously ridiculous. There's 1 player to scout, and it's the number 1 player in the Ice League. That never happens. So, all right, we're ready to get into the calendar sim here, guys. Sorry it's taken a little bit longer than usual to get to this point for this episode, but... we've had a bit of wonky stuff going on here, obviously with the Vince Dunn problem. That was not great. All right, guys, we are up to the point now in the season where we can actually take a look at our team ratings. We've got this hilarious little thing going on right now where Kagadorov here is scouting in the Ice League for literally 1 player. We're not even going to scout the other players, but looks like Murray Versey is going to be a very good player. So we're now on to potential comparison already for Versey because, again, only player being scouted, everybody else is doing strengths and weaknesses and stuff like that right now. So it's really funny to see that, but let's go take a look at our actual team ratings for this year. So for the AHL, what are we looking at? It's going to be 79 offense, 74 defense, 75 goaltending. And as far as our NHL roster goes this year, we are going to be looking at 100 offense, 90 defense, 85 goaltending. This team is sweet this year. It's gonna be really fun, I think. We don't have a forward lower than 83 rated in our lineup. We don't have a forward lower than, well, what could be 85 rated in our top 9. The fact that Yanni Gourde is playing third line minutes or fourth line minutes pretty much, is absurd to me. Do we dare put Porter Martone on the... No, not yet. We will soon, but not quite yet. Just give him a little more time. Holy moly, this team is going to be good. Okay, so let's go to the calendar and just see how this team sims. But the forwards are so deep this year with 100 offense that I think we're going to have to do well. The game, there's a good chance the game hates us too. But it looks like we beat Chicago at least 3-0 to start. All right, guys, so we're in the final month of the season here. We're currently sitting with 86 points, which is a solid record. We haven't been crazy good, but we've been good enough to the point where Shane Wright has 100 points now. Like, that's actually kind of crazy. He's just outside the top 10, but yeah, 100 points for Shane Wright, 64 assists. He's having a year. Porter Martone's got exactly half of that, and honestly, being quite a few years younger than Shane Wright, I am very happy with where Martone is at as well. Look at this lineup. Like, this is just... It's one of the best lineups that I have put together in NHL 25 so far. Yeah, simple as that. There's just not really a lot else we could do that would make this team better besides getting some other like star players in exchange for other star players that we already have. So I'm super happy with where we're at. We're not quite done the season yet, so let's jump back into the calendar and just finish this thing off. I think we're going to be fine. Actually, there's a lot of teams. You look at our division, a lot of teams pushing that wild card spot right now. So, yeah, we definitely need some wins against interdivisional rivals, but overall our team is looking really good. So we'll continue on here. Again, not a lot of games left. We have had quite a few injuries over the years, so I'm kind of surprised that our team has done as well as they have. I haven't paid any attention really besides the overall ratings and line editing. Haven't really paid any attention to Coachella Valley, so we'll just continue on with that, not really worry about it too much, and we're not going to get a score on that New Jersey game for a little while still. And, alright, we beat Anaheim, that's good. I get the feeling we lost to New Jersey, that's just kind of how it feels, and there's another Mika Koloma injury. He's been injured 2 times this year already, so now it's a third. And, alright, we aren't quite going to get to 50 wins. Looks like Anaheim has somehow jumped in front of us, and then we get back in front of them. Can we beat the Canucks in our final game? We cannot. So we will finish third in the Pacific with 94 points, 45, 31, and 6 for our record there. Pretty solid, nothing insane. But the worst team in the league was hands down the Calgary Flames. 41 points. They didn't even get half a point a game. They lost almost 60 games. Wow. That's all I gotta say. Just wow, Calgary. How are you that bad? That's insane. So, out of all of those games, yeah, Shane Wright only scored 7 more points the entire year. Not great, honestly. I was really hoping he would do a little bit better than that, but I guess not. Martone finished with 59 points on the year, and the league leader there is Nathan McKinnon. Actually, we're not even done the season yet, so maybe we just advance another day there. And, alright, I say the regular season's over. We were within a little bit of the player budget there, and we will be taking on the Anaheim Ducks here. So, before we do that, let's just go check out all the stats, standings, everything like that. So yeah, third in our division, and what is going to be 8th in the league. Our division was pretty stacked, honestly, but we will get the Anaheim Ducks in the first round, so they're just 1 spot ahead of us. And Minnesota actually managed to make the playoffs too, so good on them. And yeah, the next closest team to Calgary was San Jose with 70 points, but yeah, the Flames absolutely stunk this year. That's it's for sure one of the all-time worst performances I have seen from an AI team. So yeah, that's crazy. Wow. As far as our team goes here, let's go take a look at our team because we did just fine. Shane Wright was really the standout player. He's 93 rated now, so keep an eye on him. We're probably going to see some further growth and development from him if we can just improve his shooting and physicality, really. He's got 99 offensive awareness at this point, so no need to keep improving that, but his challenge was to be plus 30 on the season. He was not, so not really any concern there. But yeah, he is our guy. There is no doubt about that at this point. McCann had a great season. Catton had a great season. Catton should have been a point per game and somehow just barely missed it. Stephenson with 60 points, 59 points for Porter Martone as a rookie. Super solid. Cannot complain about that one bit. Matty Beniers has a bit of a down year again. Not really where we wanted to see him at, but that's okay. Firkus scores 37 this year, so a definite improvement from last year. Less goals, more assists, but whatever works, I guess. And then Ryker had a slightly better year, very similar to last year, so nothing wrong there. I'm glad we only paid him the $4.5 and didn't commit to a 8-year, $7.5 million contract for him, because that would have hurt us in the long term. But yeah, here's all of the forwards again. You can just take a quick look at them. And there's a couple guys that didn't really play at all. As far as defense goes, 78 points for Brandon Montour. How did I not notice that until just now? That is an insanely good number. Wow. Just wow. Go off, Montour. But yeah, overall, our team played quite well. Ville Tolvanen got less playtime than Caden Price, because Price just ended up performing a little bit better. Daccord ends up winning more games in spite of being injured for quite a bit of the season. Nicholas Coco did just fine as a backup. 3 shutouts is very solid, but the save percentage leaves a little bit to be desired there. So that is our team. If we go and look at the entire league, Mack Truck finishes with 132 points. Matthews, McKinnon, McDavid all clear that. Matthews, McDavid, and Draisaitl all clear that 120-point mark. 110-point mark is cleared by another 4 players there. And then after that, pretty solid scoring throughout. Obviously, Shane Wright is up in there. Just clear of the top 10. Didn't quite make the top 10, but we'll see what he gets. Honestly, I would say his passing isn't as good as I thought it would be, so maybe we focus on tape to tape next year for him or something like that. Really just focus on improving his passing ability a little bit more, because he can score, he can pass, he can do it all, but something to consider there. So that is it for our NHL season here. We'll get into the playoffs here in just a moment, but yeah, very solid season there from the Seattle Kraken. So now that we are through that, let's go take a quick peek at the progress reports, see if anybody's really making any big impacts and growth here. And it looks like Baumgartner's up to a 68 overall. That is sweet, because again, we really need a left defenseman that is, kind of more in that younger age range with our team between 19 and 23. And Baumgartner absolutely fits there. Upshaw had an absolutely monstrous season. Look at how good his skill category is, puck skill category is. That's just solid for a two-way forward. So keep an eye on him. He will probably be in the NHL this upcoming season. Tuomas Lehtinen up to a 70 overall. So very, very solid there from him. Apart from that, Kiloma got up to a 79, so not quite where we wanted him to be, but again, not bad either. And that was pretty much it. Kaleshnik didn't really grow much from the start of the season. I was hoping we would see him up at around an 80 overall by now, but, not always meant to be. And as far as Franzen goes, he won 10 out of 20 games, so not amazing, but also not as bad as his team name in Liga was either. So yeah, all right, let's get to the playoffs here. We will take note of the AHL stats once those are done, but first things first, let's go take a peek at this Anaheim Ducks team, because I'm pretty sure they're quite nice. Yeah, they are. Anaheim's gonna be a little bit tricky to deal with. They're not going to be the toughest team we necessarily will have to face in the playoffs, but they are very similar to us. I think our depth is really where we kind of shine through compared to them, as well as just, I would say, our top talent too. We just have slightly better top players than they do. Somehow they finished ahead of us in the standings, but you know what? That is what it is. So let's get into this game here against the Anaheim Ducks. We're going to quick sim it and see how we do. So, first period, Leo Carlson opens the scoring. We outshoot him 14-9. Second period, still a 1-0 game. And heading into the third, we got to put some pucks in the net here, Seattle. Simple as that. Jimmy Vesey makes it 2-0. Come on, Seattle. We can't get shut out in the first game. Really? There it is. Jake Sanderson gets us on the board. We got to get another goal, though. We have just been getting too many shots on Dostal not to score here. So, come on, boys. Final 3 minutes. And yes, there it is. Chandler Stephenson with no time left. So we will head to OT to start off this series. And we get a power play, and it's over. Chandler Stephenson, 2 goals in under 2 minutes, and that will claim victory for the Seattle Kraken in Game 1. I really should have looked at the 3 stars. I mean to go over. It's just I try to go over this way on the screen instead of going back across the screen the other way. So, yeah, if I did that, then it would work. But, yeah, a little bit unfortunate there that we didn't get to see the 3 stars because I think Stephenson would have gotten first star, honestly. But Daccord and Dostal also played absolutely phenomenal. So let's head into Game 2 where hopefully we can get another victory. But starting things off, 0-0 game, 14-12 on shots in favor of the Ducks. Second period, it's a 2-0 game as Matty Beniers and Chandler Stephenson get us on the board. And as we head into the third, really, this is our game to lose at this point. We get a power play, a couple power plays, 5-on-3. Oh, Seattle. Oh, Seattle. You got to score another one on that one. I mean, 2-goal lead is a little bit too dicey with this Anaheim team. And there it is. Lundestrom makes it a one-shot game. Down into the final 4. Yanni Gourde gets the insurance marker. Let's go. All right, that should be enough to get us there. Sanderson with the empty netter. Okay, so we managed to take 2 away games from the Anaheim Ducks. To be fair, not very far travel. I did it again. Oh my god. Okay, I gotta remember to actually show the stats because that's just bad on my part. I apologize, guys. All right. So if we advance one day, that should finish up the AHL schedule. It does indeed. So let's go take a look at our overall team stats. Jordan Eberle scores 63 points. Coachella Valios 48, 18, and 6 for 102 points, which is indeed the best record in the league. 70.8 point percentage. That is very high. So absolutely outstanding there. Jordan Eberle leads our team. We actually do have a defenseman there in Poirier in the top 10 in scoring, but the drop-off there is pretty steep once you get out of the top, 4 players, really. So that was our forwards this year. Poirier leads all defensemen. I'm really not happy with how Mika Koloma did this year. I was really hoping he would be at least 81, 82 rated somewhere in there. I mean, even, again, Brian Leach scored more than he did, so not amazing there. Grant Reed's looking NHL ready. He's an 80 rated grinder, so he's going to be good. And as far as our goalies go, Saarinen wins 38 games, Franzen wins 10. Both goalies do very serviceable work this year. And honestly, Saarinen might have been the best goalie in the entire league. Konsta Helenius leads the league this year. My goodness, what a point total for him, 79 points. That is very solid. And there's some of your other stats. Wow, that's a 79 rated 20-year-old. As a low 6. That's impressive. All right, Grand Rapid. Very nice. Very nice development there. Best goal scorer is Matteo Nobles. He absolutely tore it up. That is very, very nice stats from him. There's your other top-end scorers for the most part. And I don't think we had anybody even remotely close to that. Yeah, wow. Uriel Panaye. Uriel Panaye was very good. Ryan Rubrick. There's a name to recognize. Looking solid in Calgary. He's probably dreading his future with the Calgary Flames. But, yeah, Kim Saarinen. Looking like a very, very solid goalie at this point, too, with 38 wins on the year. And, all right. That is it for the AHL. I just didn't show all the other standings because, again, these standings kind of suck sometimes. So, just got to go through those quickly. Just pause for me to go back on and fill out the spreadsheet. And yeah, all right. So now that we are fully immersed in the playoffs, Coachella Valley should be one of the favorites as well. Our team just cruised. And all right, we will get Mika Koloma back for the playoffs, which is great because, again, he plays top pairing minutes. He is a minute muncher for sure. It's just a matter of can he stay healthy in that role because, again, he has the potential to be that guy. We just need him to, not get injured all the time. So, all right. They'll get Tucson in the first round. We will continue on with Anaheim here where we are up 2-0 heading back to Anaheim. So let's see what we can do. And we're just simulating. We're not worrying about the AHL. They can do whatever there. They've been doing better than us in the playoffs so far. But into Game 3, we start off up 3-1. Ryan Poehling opened the scoring. Then McCann, Bjorkstrand, and Wright all get goals for the Kraken. Second period, still a 3-1 game. And into the third, it will finish 4-1 as Bjorkstrand doubles up. So a very solid performance there from our team. And Bjorkstrand will get the first star, Daccord with the second, and Wright with the third. Very, very nice. So we'll simulate up to the next game. And honestly, this is our series. We got a good chance here to finish this thing off tonight in front of our home fans. Anaheim hasn't really provided a challenge for us yet. And I mean, knock on wood that it stays that way. But first period, 3-0 again. We get 2 shorthanded goals in that period. Carson Raykoff scores twice, and that's just crushing for the Ducks. All right. Second period, 5-0 as Catton scores on the power play, and then Nyman scores even strength. And we'll finish this series off with a 6-1 decisive victory. Anaheim just not able to put any pucks past us, really. And Topias Villain gets the final goal there for us. Zegras on the power play. And yeah, just an impressive performance from the depth guys there in Raykoff and Stephenson. 969 performance for Daccord is crazy as well. And yeah, we're rolling. We are rolling to the second round with a sweep of the Anaheim Ducks. Let's go. So as we continue to advance a few days here, we will be waiting for a little bit. It should probably be a good idea to check and see how is our AHL team doing. And 1-1 series, okay. We'll advance a few more days here, and by then we should be into the next round of playoffs. We lose Leach to an injury, but are we going to finish off the series? Nope, we'll head to Game 5, so there is a very good chance that there is an upset here. That's not great. So we'll continue advancing. The NHL playoffs should almost be done here, and there they are. Does our team survive? That is the real question. I don't know if we did. There is a very, very real chance that we did not make it out of the first round, and if we did not, I'm going to be a little bit upset with these boys because, again, they were the top team in the league. They need to finish this off, and they do in overtime. 4-3 win. Far too close for my liking, but you know what? That is what it is. We get through still. So, we'll take on the Edmonton Oilers with this absolute juggernaut of an offense, but we have some very good depth forwards here that could, potentially carry us through this series too. We'll see what happens. But Chicago and Colorado get through their series. Montreal and New York Rangers are through. And then Boston and Toronto. So that's going to be fun. All original 6 in the East. And an original 6 from Chicago there in the West. I think the only team that's... Who are we missing out of the original 6? Boston, Chicago... Who's the last original 6 for? I'm just blanking right now. Detroit. That's the one we're missing. So Detroit. Yeah. So yeah, out of all those teams, the Detroit Red Wings are the only team not still alive out of the original 6. That's pretty crazy. But we got a new team on the block here in Seattle. We're looking pretty mean right now, honestly. And I mean, let's go take a peek at this Edmonton Oilers team. They're probably going to be sick. I mean, we've seen the stat totals that McDavid and Draisaitl have put up, but jeez. Okay, so really, we're just going to need our top line to try and stay even. If they can stay even, then I think we can win the series on depth. But really, it's really just that top unit that we have to be scared of. Because, yeah, that is, oh dear Lord, that is an insanely good team. Maybe, what I'm thinking is maybe we put a good defensive first line out there and then let the second line kind of just do their thing. Maybe go like that. Something along those lines at least. I mean, McCann's pretty sound defensively. It's just more so Wright and Catton that I'm worried about. Because again, Catton, not a very solid defensive player. Wright is more solid defensively, but I'm thinking maybe we go Stephenson on that top line instead just to kind of cement. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we are going to change our lines a little bit if it doesn't work in games 1 and 2. Oh, hello, Raykov. Nice X factors you got there, buddy. I gotta say, I like that. Those just kind of appeared out of nowhere for me. So, yeah, we'll try Stephenson on the top line, see if that kind of cements in our team playing better against that Edmonton juggernaut line. But yeah, whatever works here. So, let's get to it. Next round of AHL playoffs are done too, and we will be taking on the Oilers in round 2 with, again, 2 red-hot goalies in net here. So, first period, Kane opens the score. Vander Kane, all right. Second period, still an Edmonton lead, 2-0 heading into the third as Hyman scores there. And come on, we just got to get one on the board, shake Skinner a little bit, shake his confidence, and then we will probably be okay. There it is, Shane Wright power play goal. Come on, boys, 10 minutes, you got lots of time. Got to get one more. And come on. There it is, Jared McCann. So our top line getting the goals to not seal the deal, but to probably push an overtime here. Yeah, and we will head to OT. So in overtime, again, Edmonton's outshooting us by not a bad margin, but we're getting our chances too. Edmonton power play. Ooh, that's dodging a bullet right there. I don't know how we don't score another one. We're playing with fire. Like, we're very much playing with fire there. I am scared of the Oilers power play, honestly. And, all right, we head to double overtime in game number 1. So, as we continue on here, it is going to be the Oilers winning the game. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the power play. Again, you play with fire, you get burned. That's just as simple as it is. And Daccord with a .943, only letting in, 3 goals, but pretty much 2 for how many shots he faced. And all right, Stephenson and Draisaitl are both tied up there, 4-point totals. And Dragicevic gets injured, but we'll head into the second game here against the Oilers. Again, this Oilers team is insanely good. I think they won the President's Trophy, if I'm not mistaken. And all right, first period of game 2, Shane Wright opens the scoring with a power play goal in the first. Second period, Nurse and Bouchard respond, getting goals for the Oilers. And as we head into the third, we're chasing yet again. But we will tie it up with another Chandler Stephenson point. That is awesome. He is playing great right now. I am very impressed with how Stephenson has performed in these playoffs. And as we continue on here, power play for the Oilers, 5-on-3. Doesn't convert. Wow, that's crazy. That's got to be a momentum booster for us, no? Into the final minute here, it's going to be heading to overtime for a second consecutive game. So as we head into sudden death, who is it going to be to get the game-deciding goal? We don't know. This is always the most stressful part here is the playoffs, and we are going to win this time. It's going to be Berkeley Catton getting the even strength goal against Stuart Skinner on the 45th shot of the game for the Kraken. And I did it again where I tried to go the wrong way for 3 stars so we don't get to see them. I apologize, guys. I'm not trying to do that on purpose. Daccord's looking really good, though, man. Like, I am very impressed with how he's playing. Shane Wright's now got 10 points in just 6 playoff games, so that is huge for us. As we head into Game 3 of this series, Edmonton will start off up a goal from Evan Bouchard there in the first. The second period, we'll see 4 goals scored as Skinner scores even strength, McDavid gets a shorty, so that was 3-0 at that point, and then we respond with 2 power play goals from Firkus and McCann. So heading into the third, again, one-shot game, we just need to get shots on net, and we've gone the first 5 minutes without a shot. Not very promising, but Shane Wright will get another power play goal. He just continues to clutch up for us. Okay, come on, boys. Now we just need a Chandler Stephenson goal. That's really it. But down to the final 5 minutes here of this game, and Zach Hyman with a dagger with under 3 minutes left. Can we get it back? We cannot. So, tough loss there in game number 3. Not one you want to drop on home ice, especially when Brandon Montour is able to score 3 assists in the game. That just hurts because that probably should have been a win for us, and instead we're walking away down 2-1 in this series. And alright, how's Coachella Valley looking? They gotta be doing just fine, no? They are down 2-1. Ooh, okay, alright. Not exactly what I expected, but I mean, again, they've been kind of slacking in the playoffs. So, into game number 4, we need to win this game to tie up the series, and we start off up 2-1 as Chandler Stephenson, a little too late from last game, but he gets 2 goals to open this contest, and just on 8 shots, that's pretty bad save percentage for Skinner. They get 1 on Daccord after their 16th shot. And into the second, it'll be a 4-1 game as Catton and McCann get goals past Skinner. And to finish this game off, oh my god, what a third period. We were up 3 goals. We were up 3 goals, and we blew the lead. Like that, at that point, it was a 5-2 game when Arvidsson and then McCann scored. That's 14 minutes to hold a 3-goal lead. And we didn't do it. So we head into overtime, tied 5-5, as Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, and Danforth all get goals for the Oilers. Does Edmonton make one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history? Or do we survive what looks like a... No, we don't survive. No. Oh, man. Zach Hyman with the dagger in overtime there. His timing's been impeccable, honestly. It has been so good. And that is just unacceptable on the Seattle Kraken, at least on the defensive game of the Seattle Kraken, to let that game slip away. That was that should have been a guaranteed win, up 3 goals heading into the third. And we don't get it done. So now we are backed in against the wall, down 3-1, same with the Blackhawks, and the X Factor's flying everywhere down here right now. This is great. Apart from the fact that we're down 3-1, but how's the AHL looking over here? We got knocked out in, was that 4 games? 5 games? I think so. I think that was a 5-game knockout. So Coachella Valley does not make it very far. Only round 2. Which, a little bit surprising to me. I thought for sure they'd go farther than that, but I guess not. Not when you can't beat the San Diego Gulls, so... Alright, back to the NHL here, where things aren't looking so hot either. We'll simulate game number 5 here, but we could very easily be out in 5 games. So let's play hard to the end. First period, down 2-0. Nurse and Kane getting the goals for Edmonton. We get outshot by 11 shot difference. Ouch. Second period, it's a 4-1 game. Not looking promising as Draisaitl scores 2 on the power play. McCann got us 1. But we need an Edmonton-level comeback here, and again, it's got to be goal, 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 goal. Like, we just need 4 unanswered goals, essentially, which is impossible against this Oilers team, in my opinion, but the depth scoring just did not come in clutch when we needed it to, and that's it. That's just the inexperience on this team as far as all of these youngsters and rookies go. We just did not get the scoring at the right time, so... We dropped this series 4-1 against the Oilers. It's the farthest we've made it so far with the Kraken, but yeah, just a bit of a letdown there considering how much better, I thought, of a team we were than the Oilers. But I mean, Edmonton's got that playoff experience. They're going to go take on Colorado in the conference finals, and it looks like Toronto and Montreal, maybe 3 Canadian teams making it. That could be something special. So I'm just realizing now, guys, as we're looking through this draft class, that I forgot to change the draft class quality after this last offseason, which is why this draft class looks so nice right now. So I'm thinking, just to balance out having 2 high classes in a row, this next season we drop it on low just to absolutely balance it out, because really, honestly, it feels like cheating to leave it on high the entire time, because you just get crazy scouting reports in draft classes like this where players are, like, you're getting medium elite players in the 3rd and 4th round. And it's going to be 3-3 series. All right, who's going to win it? And it is going to be the Edmonton Oilers, so we did lose to the eventual Stanley Cup champion, and the Chicago Wolves will win the Calder Cup in the AHL there. Okay, so looking at the awards then, Art Ross is going to go to Nathan McKinnon. Draisaitl wins the Hart this year. Evan Bouchard gets a Norris. Elias Pettersson gets a Lady Byng. Porter Martone, back-to-back Seattle Krakens. Let's go. All right, so Porter Martone going to get the Calder this year. Connor McDavid wins the Conn Smythe. Stuart Skinner wins the Vezina. Spencer Knight wins back-to-back Jennings trophies. Mackenzie Weegar gets the Masterton this year. Motto there in New Jersey gets the Jack Adams. Sebastian Aho wins the Selke. Draisaitl gets the Ted Lindsay. And Austin Matthews wins another Rocket. There's your AHL awards nice and quickly. No need to really spend time on this because we don't really pay attention to it. It just goes into the stat sheet. And here's a look at the playoffs. So there's the AHL. Again, Chicago just went through everybody. Nothing really much to it. And then Edmonton they had to battle it out. 2 more 7-game series after their first 2 5-game series there in the first 2 rounds. So yeah, we didn't put up much of a fight compared to Colorado and New York. So we are still a little ways out from really being that team or being one of those top teams to compete with. But that is okay. So let's go. We're going to go right up to the draft class. Obviously, but this season there is no franchise player in spite of the draft class being on the high settings still. So here's a look at it. And, I mean, that's just the top end. I'll show you guys the entire draft here in just a minute once the lottery is done. Obviously, Calgary has the number 1 odds. And all right, let's simulate up to the draft pretty much. We're going to just actually back off a little bit, do the calendar sim instead. So we'll go up to the 19th, somewhere right in there. And all right, it's going to be the 20th, I guess, that we go up to. Calgary will win the lottery. Where do the Kings land? LA landed 15th. Okay, so they definitely got better. Philly jumps from 10 to 2, same as last year, except it was Toronto jumping 10 to 2. San Jose gets the 3rd pick. St. Louis with the 4th. All right, that's your lottery for this year. I did not expect Dallas to be that bad, but I guess they are. All right, so we're going to go take one more look at the draft class here just before we wrap up this video. But yeah, Murray Versey is the number 1 guy. He should be a very nice fit there in Calgary. So there is an elite player here in Mats Muller. We're not going to really have a shot at him, so we'll look a little bit further on into the draft. A player I did see that I was rather interested in, there is Torsten Dahl. He looks really good. But the other guy, I believe, there's Xander Lowe, and then this guy here, Rob Lamb. Rob Lamb looks really good, so he would be a great fit for our team as to what we kind of need still for that lefty, not quite elite lefty, but up there. Declan Nagayan looks really good for a goalie. So does Igor Chubasov, so multiple guys in that range that we could look to pick from. George Schotten looks quite solid too for pick 44. A little bit further on, there's guys like Ed Devon, Teemu Lindman looks okay. And then there's these guys. Guys like Guillermo Hillman, Aiden Shattenkirk. These guys are going to be the type of players that we want to pick. Donovan Bruin, medium elite power forward. He looks really good. Another left winger. So there's multiple left wingers again. I don't think we'd go for a guy like Maximus Rochan, even though he is a gem. The reason being is we don't really need more prospects like that. On the other hand, Wes Gerard, a gem low top 6, could be an interesting pick, but then again, so would a gem medium elite two-way defenseman like Jace Wagner. That guy would probably be part of a solution that would guarantee us a cup by 2033, 2034, somewhere in that range. So that's a guy we are definitely picking if we get the chance. We'll make a trade to go and pick him, honestly. And then after that, there's a lot of gems in this draft. I'm looking at it now. There's a lot of gems. Ned Graham going to be another guy that we definitely try to go and pick up. So there's multiple lefty that we could go for. We'll just kind of see how it plays out here at the draft. We could really just build out our entire left defensive side here and not really struggle too much with it. Sergei Solovyov, probably going to be a good pick for the 5th round or so. And then after that, Richard Sikora, going to be another very good, like well-built, big-bodied defenseman on the right side this time. But yeah, apart from that, not a lot of right wingers again. Just one of those positions that we just haven't seen a lot of players really kind of turn out to be any good from. And all right, Cutter was one of the few players we were still waiting on. He does not turn out to be a low elite, unfortunately. And after that, Leach might be worth drafting actually. So we'll take a tab on Cohen Leach there. And how about Todd Quenville? Maybe keep an eye on him too. I guess we could scout him one more time. Actually, who was he last scouted by? Does it even say? It will say right over here. It is Rhys Miller. So let's scout him one more time. Just get another quick potential comparison in there. And maybe we will see his full potential. Who knows? How about Jim Garlock? Not bad. Actually, this is the guy we're more than likely taking here. Bedrich Czechmanek. I forgot to point him out, but yeah, he looks very solid for a later pick. How about this guy? Philippe Dennis. Didn't even know he existed until now. So again, another player that might be a huge steal. Probably not going to be. Probably like a high AHL goalie or something like that. Who knows? But no stats to show for it, so keep an eye on him. He is 19 already, so I don't know how he doesn't have any stats. He must not be very good if that's the case. Maturity, leadership, work ethic doesn't mean squat if he's got no stats behind it at 19. So, alright, so that is where we're going to wrap this video up. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to go down below, drop a like, subscribe, hit notifications, respond to that comment that I have left as well in the comment section. It will be pinned to get featured in the next one. But that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Etanyos signing out, and until next time.